that is mast ready.
And next to WoSARS.
Terry, what weight's in it approximately?
It's possible. Yeah. It is heavy. Because it's fiberglass.
It's all metal. That's going to be a ton weight, but it's not. It's half a ton.
It's all right.
Brilliant.
It's all right. And it does work.
Very similar looking to a tiger moth at the moment.
I don't know what one of them looks like. But yeah, I mean, you tighten up all those bolts and you would tighten up the clamps, of course, to do the job properly. But I mean, it's all going to come apart again, so I didn't make such a big job of
I
that.
noticed you have no gamma match or anything, Terry.
You don't need it. You can put a choke.
The 6 elements.
What's the bandwidth, Terry?
Well, bandwidth, good question. When I ran it up on a 15-foot pole, I was getting 1.0 S to WR from 70 megs up to 70.3, and then it started to climb quite seriously.
That's okay.
But I don't go up the top end of the band anyway. But yeah, I was pleased with that.
That's 300 kc.
300 kcs of flat.
Is there many people up there you can talk to? Is it
Well, I'm in a bit of a hole.
With that thing problem with the Martians.
I was working, I could hear the Angus beacon, which a lot of people can't from here. I could hear the Angus beacon, and I did get across to Edinburgh by Sked, and down to Troon, and a couple of semi-locals. But obviously, I'm in a bit of a hole where I am, so it's VHF is always a bit of a death. But yeah, it was a project I wanted to do. It's a big sister, that's a 5-element quad for 6, made in exactly the same way. It is up on the mast in the garden, and that can be put up to 50 foot if I want to. So if we get any propagation at all,
So that's 50% bigger.
For you collected the materials, Terry, to finish, how long did it take you?
Sorry?
From you collected all the materials to finish, how long did it take you?
Oh, difficult to say. Probably spent. Anne would say I spent a month. I would say probably I spent about a week on it.
Oh!
And I took about maybe a bit more. I mean, yeah, because the first thing you see, I established the process. You see, I got the template drilled out with the error around the clamps, and then I drilled all the templates. Then I made all the spreaders for the 4 metre one. 79.5 SEMs I chose. That got me 3 spreaders plus a little bit out of each 8-foot length of tubing. Obviously I couldn't get any more than 2. I forget what the dimensions were now on 6, but yeah, it's in proportion. The information is in the stuff I emailed around. If anybody wants these details, I can email them. Just drop me an email, and I can let you have all the information.
You're importing all this tubing then
from the States, because I couldn't get it. All I was finding was bits of rod about a metre long or anything like that. And I thought, well, that's no use. And then DX Engineering came up, make your frameworks, make all this and all that, and all the hype. And I thought, well, this will do. Particularly when it's all these slots together.
Yes.
everything included? What did it cost you?
The whole project probably cost me about 300 quid. Because I was stung by, once I'd got everything, of course, the actual base cost of the stuff is remarkably enticing. And then, of course, they insisted on air freighting it across. It cost about $100 odd. And then I got an invoice for 80 quid for the customs duty and the VAT out of the blue. So I was less than amused in the end, but I thought, well, this is a one-off. I'm not doing this every day. And it was a special project I wanted to do. The wire was recovered from something else, so that didn't sting me. But the ballpark figure, the wire I put into the 4L quad for 6, that cost about 30 quid. So, I mean, I would probably have had to spend about 70 or 80 quid on wire had I done that as well. So, yeah, it's not cheap. You could probably buy cheaper on the open market if you wanted to buy a commercial antenna. But I mean, unless Innov Antennas is actually doing it, you won't get an antenna like this on the open market. Some might say that's just as well. But I thought, no, I will do this. And yeah, if it costs, I'll do it. I won't mess about. Just get the stuff in, get the bits together, and do it. And that's what I did. And to me, it was a very fulfilling and enjoyable, satisfying project. I did get moaned at. I did a lot of the spade work while Anne was away, actually, which was quite good. But then it's easier. And then I was going, oh, you're still working at that. How long is this wire going to be stretched out where I want to walk, you know, and all this lot. You get fortunately, all of it tongue-in-cheek, to be fair. And I was allowed to get on with it. And
does anyone make spreaders containing only 3 arms, which they got with triangular loops?
Triangular loops. Well, there's no reason in principle why you shouldn't. You tend to go for quads, don't they?
I think it's
Delta, there'd be delta loops, wouldn't they?
it's a simplicity because you can use the geometric bits are easier worked out.
Yeah,
You know, everything's parallel, everything's at right angles to everything else.
You can use diagonals on squares, and you can use your Pythagoras theorem to work out your lengths.
And the strains are also the strain is also opposing.
Yeah.
You know, so that you're not the same bending motion.
Yeah.
You've got 3 things it's going to, it tends to bend, whereas if you've got 4, it's always compression.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Hey Terry, that's say 10 o'clock now.
All right.
Carry on, we're here till midnight.
That's yes, good job. Right, so thank you very much for listening.
Oh, thank you, Terry, big man.
I do mean it. If anybody wants the information of the size, well, you can look it up from G0KSC, but you can also say, well, it's all right. I can do that. You can also work out the figures I did for the spreadsheet. You can divide by 4 times 1.4. That gets you your diagonals, and then you need your 1/8 and your 3/8 for each element. And then you can basically work it from there.
And just to round off, what's the dinosaur joke?
That's
The dinosaur joke. Ah, right. God, trust somebody to remember that one. Right. Man goes into museum, you see, and he meets the curator. And he looks up at this marvellous skeleton, you see, this wonderful fossilised skeleton, you see, and the curator says, ah, yes. That is our prize exhibit. That is a multimegalosaurus. And it is 140 million and 14 years old. And he says, oh, how do you get it so accurate? He says, well, I've been here 14 years. When I came, it was 140 million years old. So this is all about the accuracy that's not available to you. I saw somebody once made a piece of kit, and he said, oh, you know, I can get this to work to 1 millimetre. I said, well, you've got 2 millimetres of play in your mechanism, so how could you get that to measure to 1 millimetre? And of course the bottom line is you can't. And you can delude yourself with figures. I mean, I made a mistake when setting up that spreadsheet. It came out with the diagonal, I think, on that reflector came out to 1606.3999999 millimetres. I thought, right, okay. So,
is this your entry for next year's construction project?